Okay, hello. Welcome everyone to another Study in Estonia webinar. Hopefully you all are hearing me okay, seeing me as well. I can't see you, but I'm just imagining the people listening in today. Good morning to those of you that are in the morning time zone. Here in Estonia, it is 10 a.m. and we will now start with the webinar, Take Charge, How to Start a Company in Estonia. So as last time, my name is Kristina. I am from the Study in Estonia team. I will do a short introduction about what we'll be talking about today and who will be guiding you through this topic. And then I'll give word to our experts, who you can already see on the screen as well. So if last time we spoke about nailing your job interview, then today we are taking a slightly different approach and talking about a situation where you yourself can be a job creator if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to start a company in Estonia. So we will be covering all aspects of how you can go about that, what are the processes, what are the paperwork involved. Once again, any and all questions that you have are very much appreciated. You can write them either in the chat box, which you should be able to see, or you can write them in the Q&A section. And we will keep an eye out. We will cover these questions at the end of the webinar once our speakers have finished. And then whichever questions we're not able to cover or we don't have enough time for, we will give answers to them in written form and send them out to you afterwards. So no worries about that. Also, the recording of this webinar will be made available afterwards. So if you're not able to listen in right now or you want to have another look, you will be able to do that as well. So with that being said, I'll introduce our today's panelists, two wonderful, very competent ladies. So we have Krista from Tallinn Enterprise Department, who will be starting out and talking about how you can go about starting a company in Estonia. And then we also have Anneli from the Work in Estonia initiative from Enterprise Estonia, who has also previously run the International House of Estonia, which is a very good resource for all of you to be aware of, a one-stop shop for anything an international in Estonia might need. So I won't take up more of the time. I'll give the floor then to Krista to start the presentation. And again, ask as many questions as you'd like. We'll try to get to all of them. So I'll quickly pass over the word to Krista. Let me see. And we can get started. So there you go.
Thank you very much, Kristina. Good morning for everyone. We are so happy that we can meet here more as 50 persons who are interested in starting a company here in Tallinn. I am representative of Tallinn city. I am working as business advisor by Tallinn Enterprise Development Department. And now I would like to introduce you the possibility how to start your business, talking about taxation and talking about short financing also. Okay, let's start. Just a moment. Show my screen and
we can see your screen really well.
yes, I can see also, but that's freeze. I can go ahead with this slideshow. Just a moment. The next slide, good, thank you. As you know, Tallinn is our capital, and comparing maybe your home countries, Tallinn is rather small. The population of Tallinn is 400,000 inhabitants, and if we are thinking about conversion rate, then we can compare how many clients should we have for our business ideas. Tallinn is very important as seaport and startup hub. What can we mention about Tallinn? Why the investors and startup entrepreneurs shall choose the city? I think that's the best place for starting a business here because the digital possibilities is very good developed and not important is also our climate, our nature, and as you can see, Tallinn is top 10 city with the cleanest air in the world. How many businesses are in Tallinn? Totally are here more as 100,000 different companies. And you can see here increasing part companies owned by private foreign persons. What's the profile of businesses? Sometimes people are afraid. My business idea is so small. If I have only a loan or with 2 or 3 partners, don't afraid if you can see here more as 96% of companies has less as 10 employees. What about business idea? Which kind business idea is the popular here? In nowadays is increasing the part of different professionals, for example, bookkeepers, marketing specialists, different scientific and technological consultants, and this number of companies is in the first place. The second one is trade, wholesaling and retailing, and administrative and support activities are on the third place, and also very popular is ICT. Then comes real estate and construction and other different services. We are very proud of our startup ecosystem because as small country as Estonia, we have 4 unicorns, Skype, LaTeX, TransferWise, and now the new name is Bolt, Taxify. And now we are going a little bit our organization, City Enterprise Department, where I'm coming, what we can offer for entrepreneurs or how we can help the startups. The Tallinn City Enterprise Department, there we are working here about 70 employees and we have 6 different units. Business development unit who is directly for enterprises, tourism unit who is managing Tallinn card, as you know, trade and consumer protection also are controlling and checking our different retail and wholesale companies here in Tallinn. Also, one part of our organization is dealing with local taxes, waste management, and also supervisory of city companies is one of our activities. But what we are offered for startups? Now we are consulting startup entrepreneurs by Skype, by phone, by mail, and our advisory services are free of charge. We can help you to write business plans and financial projections. Also, we can answering to your questions, which type of company should I choose, about this procedure, costs, taxation. Also, our team member is lawyer and we can advise about labor laws, both sides, employees and employers. The City of Tallinn gives ourselves also different business grants. We have 3 different ones, trade fair, local Estonian trade fair grant, international trade fair, and grants for trainee instructions. Also, we are helping our partners, State Shared Service Center, startup grants, how to write business plans, and also Unemployment Insurance Fund, who is helping startups by giving this grant. I'm talking later also these possibilities, and arranging different information days and trainings. If you would like to start a company, what is the first step? What should you know yourself? First of all, you should know your company's business name. This one can be a little bit tricky one. You should check it from the commercial, from the company registration portal, because you shall choose the unique one. The next important thing is the field of activity, trade, manufacturing, consultation, this type of fields of activity, and obtain a legal address here in Estonia. If you don't have the legal address insured now, you can use different service providers who can help you to obtain this legal address by different assistance by bookkeeping or human resources also. And if you know your business name, this is unique, you can use it, your field of activity and legal address, and then it's time to register your company. If you are visiting here in Estonia and you don't have ID card, then it's possible to go by notary. But for these people who has already ID card, then you can use this company registration portal and you can register your company yourself. Once you shall pay governmental fee, 190 euros, and it takes about some hours, one working day. Here I put the e-residency also because the working from abroad is very popular for digital nomads, for these people who own e-residency card. They can register the company also the same way electronically from the company registration portal. But sometimes people are thinking, if I have your Estonian e-residency card, can I travel or receiving some support? No, that's only official way for digitally signing different documents. Now, the next step, if you would like to know which documents you shall have before registration your company, in this digital company registration portal, they have also ready-made templates. But if you would like to change something, then you can look here the Startup Estonia website. There's the in English version Founders Agreement, Articles of Association, and also you can find here in English Employment Agreement too. You can look through. Sometimes people are asking, I received also some question about establishing a company. Shall I choose the enterprise or maybe the non-profit association? What's the difference of it? The non-profit organizations is voluntary association, but the difference is the purpose is not the profit, but the purpose is established in its articles of association. You can use the profit from your activities only for that special purposes. Sometimes is the question about supporting possibilities. What is different for supporting measures if we are comparing non-profit association and companies? Mostly companies can ask different financial help for purchasing different equipment, machinery, assets, but for non-profit association is mainly supported for current costs. They don't receive the money for investment. The governmental fee for registration non-profit association is also less. It's about 20 euros with something if you would like to register a non-profit association. But the taxation, working agreements, these things are the same. Are you a member of or owner of non-profit association or owner of companies? If the people don't know, I am ready for establishing a company, or I would like only to try to be official to legal reasons, that all the taxes will be paid. And if somebody don't like to have all this bookkeeping and taxation things, for example, by babysitting, housekeeping, gardening, repairing all different construction services. If one natural person offers services to another natural person, then you can use the entrepreneur account for natural person. That possibility offers LHV Bank from January 2019, and nowadays is more as 1,000 people using this special account. And the special account also, if you are selling goods to the other natural or legal person, also you can use it. And for ride-sharing platforms like Bolt, you can use it. And this conto works so if your client pays you the money, this entrepreneur account automatically takes out 20% business income tax. That's the same business income tax rate for companies, for private persons, and also for natural persons who is using this entrepreneur account. And here is some borders also. If the amount does not exceed 25,000 euros, then the tax rate is 20. But if your turnover is more as 25,000 euros, then you shall count about 40% as business income tax they are taking out, and you don't have any more official duties. That's already done if you have this entrepreneur account for natural person. But you don't have a right to reduce entrepreneurial costs. That's the difference. If you are registering a company, you have the right to reduce from turnover your entrepreneurial costs and paying taxes from your profit. But here, as entrepreneur account for natural person, you shall pay from this brutto sum is 20 or 40%. Now, the third possibility one is non-profit organizations or foundations. The second one is this entrepreneur account. And the third one, if I would like to establish a company or register myself as sole proprietor. The most popular forms are sole proprietor and private limited company. What's the difference? The sole proprietor has unlimited liability, but private limited company owners, the partners are liable only for this contribution of the share capital. Here is marked the minimum required share capital, 2,500 euros, but now is allowed to register the company without contributing share capital. That means you can start it with 0 share capital. Only is not allowed to take out dividends or to sell your company before if your share capital is not 2,500. And where you can get this money? You can get this money from your turnover. From turnover comes profit, and from profit on your balance sheet, you shall form it to the share capital. After that, if your share capital is already 2,500, then you can take out dividends, or if you would like to sell your company. The biggest form is public limited company. Then you need share capital 25,000 euros. And general partnership, that means if 2 sole proprietors are working together by this general partnership agreements, or limited partnership, that means one is like sole proprietor and the other one is like the member of private limited company. And commercial association for farmers, for trade association is also possible to establish here. But I would like to talk a little bit more private limited company and sole proprietor. What's the difference? If you would like to start the business as sole proprietor, then is not need minimum capital requirement. Registering fee, state fee, is 13 euros once. And accounting is easy, only cash-based accounting. You don't need balance sheets, you don't need profit loss statements. But the minus is unlimited personal liability for debts not incurred in business. Sole proprietor can choose the business name, the personal name, given name and surname, and address. You can use the registered place of residence here in Estonia. If you are choosing to establish a private limited company, then, as I told before, this is possible without contributing to share capital, no personal liability for company's obligations, and registering fee is 190 euros. But for bookkeeping, you shall know or arrange it in right way. You shall be ready this annual report with all balance sheets and profit loss statements. About the Estonian taxation system, it was one question also before. We don't have corporate income tax. Corporate income tax is 0, but personal income tax is this 20%. Labor taxes is 33% social tax together. It consists 20% for social security and 13% for health insurance. Unemployment insurance tax is 0.8% must be paid on the gross salary. And value-added tax, the rate is 20% and reduced one for some tourism sector services are 9%. And for medical services, 0 in some cases. Personal income tax is 20%, goes for all over the salaries, wages, bonuses, and other remuneration. Also, business income, interest, royalties, rental income, capital gains, pensions, the same percent, 20%. About reporting taxes is very easy because we have also the electronic tax filing system, e-tax, and there is around 95% of declarations are filed electronically. And here I put one sample about our taxation. If the gross salary is 1,000 euros, then the social tax is 20% plus 13%, together 33%, is the total cost for employer, 1,338 euros. And the net salary is here 871. Here you can check by this salary calculator, you can find it on this web page and how this taxation goes. But what's the minimum taxation? What the entrepreneurs should pay? If you are registering as sole proprietor, you shall pay the social tax in advance. That means you shall pay every month 178 euros, together every third month about 534 euros. That's the social tax, and you are receiving the health insurance after that. Our minimum wage, here is one sample about the salary calculator for minimum wage, 584 euros. The total cost for employer comes together 781 euros, and the employee receives net salary 550 euros. And now is very popular the question about dividends or salary, because if the people are asking which type of businesses should I choose, is that sole proprietor or private limited company? If you are working as sole proprietor, then you shall pay the social tax and personal income tax of all your profits. But if you have private limited company, then you can choose dividends or salary. But the official statement for our Tax and Customs Board is here. That means if the management board members are working as employees, the salary should be paid commonly paid level. That means the medium salary, if this medium salary is paid for the shareholders, then you can take out the rest as dividends. Then it's correct. Here you can read a little bit more about these different cases. If the company is already registered with commercial register, then you can open bank account. If we are talking about e-residents, then maybe sometimes you shall use different financial possibilities like Holvi PayPal payment tool. If then bank account opening takes time and money, also you can use European Economic Community bank accounts. And the next step, if you are operating in area of activities who need the activity license, you shall apply these activity licenses also. And if your annual turnover is 1 year more as 40,000 euros, you shall register yourself as value-added taxpayer with Tax and Customs Board. Here you can find information if you would like to choose the services different tax and legal consulting companies, banking and payments, also virtual offices, company name. Here you can, this marketplace, find potential cooperation partners. Or if you would like to arrange the accounting and reporting yourself, then is one possibility using this government e-financials, or LHV Bank provides to the client smart account solutions for accounting and reporting. Also for small businesses, here is some sources. Here you can find the name of the list of activities, what are needed activity licenses. And here we can talk about food safety. Food safety requirements is also you need food safety plan, license application, economic activity notification. But for that documents you can use the virtual food safety specialist. That's one application who is possible to help you to arrange all these plans, applications, notifications that is approved by veterinary and food board also. That's the official, very good application. How to register the trademark here in Estonia? The trademark registering comes also through patent office. You can use these e-services, and state fee is about 145 euros. Registering an internet domain name, you can do it yourself by this Estonian Internet Foundation. And if you would like to find co-working and workspace, here is some sources about prices and different contacts. If you would like to find partners for your developing business idea, then you can cooperate with our Estonian clusters. Here you can see different clusters like ICT sector, logistics, creative industry. They are helping different companies to develop business ideas and find partners. For ICT companies, is Tallinn Science Park very popular. They have startup incubator and also possibility for financing prototyping. That's the Prototron, who offers for creating prototypes 15,000 euros and more. City of Tallinn is one of owners Tallinn Creative Incubator, what is located in Baltica Quarter, and also Creative Incubator owns Tallinn Design House. That possibility for finding partners and for showing your design collections and selling your production in the harbor area. Tallinn Design House and helping this incubator members. How to find money if you have a startup company? Then one possibility is to look through and to pitch your ideas in Estonian business angels organizations, EstBAN, for example, who is helping the local seed stage investment. Also different accelerators, Startup Ice Guys, Prototron by Technopol, Seedtech, Buildit, Prodana. And governmental subsidies for startups. If you are unemployed, then you can ask startup money from unemployment insurance fund. Or if you are studying or working or having already enterprises and you would like to start with new business idea, then you have right to apply startup grant from State Shared Service Center. This is for companies not older than 2 years and maximum amount is 15,000 euros. Self-financing means 20% and you shall create a year-round job at least 2 persons with salary 655 euros. and you shall receive the sales on the fourth year, 80,000 euros. And from that sales should be 10% extra. And you can use this grant for purchasing machinery or equipment, for marketing and development and application software. Also, 1/2 of them, 50%, you can use for labor cost. You need business plan in Estonian, and for our clients we offer consultation in English. We can make and we can change business plans, making our remarks, and if the business plan is ready, then finally you can translate it in Estonian. For unemployment insurance fund, you can apply 4,474 euros, and you can use it for investment, for salary, for rents. But all the costs should be justified, transparent. You can choose yourself which one activity or which investment you can use it. And Tallinn, City of Tallinn, offers for entrepreneurs who is already started, who is already worked more as 1 year, then trade fair grant is up to 1,000 euros per year if the fairs will be in Estonia, and for international trade fair, then the companies apply up to 8,000 euros. And raising productivity, we have grant for trainee instructions, that's maximum 3,000 euros per company, and this is supported the extra work for these instructions who are working by companies. And here is the short overview that we are going very fast now, but you can look this eesti.ee, and here is the very detailed information, all these steps before starting a business. As we're talking about choosing area of activity, which form, sole proprietor or non-governmental organization, find a business name for your company, how it goes, and about documents and templates. You can see here more information about registering series info, how it goes by company registration portal, and how big are the costs, and if your activity needs special requirements, how you can apply it. And registering trademark and domain name, the information is also here. And here is some samples information, rules and regulation about taxation. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Krista. So now I'm taking over, and for the thing that we should have some time for the questions that you might have come up with. So I'm going to cover in upcoming around 5 up to 7 minutes some of the topics that have become now actually quite crucial if we talk about the times of the crisis or the emergency situation that we have. And I really would like to give you some tips that maybe some of you already know, but they still might be useful for just getting through of the period. So at first, I really do hope that everyone has stayed healthy and safe. Are you in Estonia or living or currently being abroad? But to really go on those tips or the topics that I would like to cover, then really just start from the beginning. So the most important thing that we have been emphasizing to all expats, all the internationals who are already living, working, studying in Estonia is the thing that now it's really important time to really build your network. So you may ask that how can I build a network if the world is or has been only on online portals, so through the Zoom or through the Teams or whatever the platforms are. But still, currently there are very many different online webinars, masterclasses. Most of them have become or have been free of charge or are free of charge, or with some small contribution. just to support the company who's doing the masterclasses or the webinars. So our big advice for you is that definitely go through the, so to speak, the market, go and see what's going on, attend the courses, the webinars, check who's performing or who's doing the webinar, and also improve your network in attending different type of, so to speak, more social events. Again, you may ask that what type of social events there can be, again, in the times of what we have now, when it's quite limited, that how can we move around? But again, online tools help you a lot. So see different communities, for example, Lift 99 or the Startup Garage. I'm just adding them here to the chat box over here. I think that some of you already may know, but just in case that they are here displayed. And so these are the communities that I would highly recommend actually to really see what's going on. And just yesterday, it was really awesome news that one of the founders of Lift 99, Ragnar Sass, made a really big impactful post in Facebook where he wrote down that all the guys who want to do the business now, for example, those people who have suffered in the redundancies in Estonia, that if you have any type of business ideas, just let him know. Again, writing down the name in here. You can search the name in Facebook. Then you can see the post. It's in English. And to see that that actually very many people are now thinking outside of the box. So one big important thing just to mention here, think outside of the box. So second thing, follow the people who inspire you. Now it's time to connect awesome, great people. If you are now at home, you have plenty of time, or a bit more time than you maybe used to have. So follow the people who inspire you. For example, in LinkedIn. And here are some tips that help you to get really connected with those people in LinkedIn. Just never send only the invitation. Most of those experts or people never accept the invitation without your personal message on it. So if you're writing to someone in LinkedIn, for example, you want to contact me, I'm taking my own case, now it's a bit easy. Then, for example, I myself never accept any invitations without a message that what is the information, what type of information can be useful, that what I can provide, because otherwise people get so many invitations all around the globe that they never accept the ones without a personal touch in it. And also, sometimes people tend to underestimate the social media channels like Instagram or the Facebook, but definitely, again, these are the places where to really go roam around and again see these bit more inspiring, but maybe a bit more visual materials. But again, if you're, for example, a product designer or even a service designer, you can really get some ideas from those very visual accounts. Then attend online courses. This is the one topic that we already covered a bit if we talk about the webinars, but online course is a bit different thing. So for example, currently the platforms like Coursera or the other platforms are offering various amounts of free online courses. So if you already have a product idea or the service design idea and you still lack some skills, but you know that you are not maybe so strong at, so now it's time to improve these skills. So I have experienced it my own when the emergency situation was declared in Estonia on the 12th of March, now nearly 2 months ago. Then starting from the 13th of March, I myself took a part in the Hack the Crisis hackathon, which I think that many of you have heard of or even attended. And I never have done any programming. And starting from 13th, I also started building up an AI, so artificial intelligence. So again, this is the time to really improve the skills, what you may not have improved before, maybe being a bit scared of. It doesn't matter if these are technical skills or social skills, everything comes handy if you're trying to put the company and things up. So think about the product, think about the service you want to design, go and roam around on the market, because now it's time to come up with the ideas that not only get us through the crisis, because now we quite probably have come through from the first wave of the health crisis. I'm sorry for the sound if you heard something. And it's really now to go wild and test the prototypes that you may, again, I have kept telling this, that it's time to experiment now. But take your friends, take your classmates, and experiment and test the ideas of the prototypes on them at first. So currently we are living on the times where people are not afraid to test, because everything seems to be like the field of opportunities. So just go, like I mentioned, go and experiment. And one last topic I would like to maybe add, not maybe add, but just add, that if possible, now the summer is coming, go and become an intern. And there again might be a question that why should I intern if I want to do my own company? But what is good about interning, that even if you're experiencing, or even if you're not going to be an employee in the company where you have been interning, but you can really gain ideas. You can see how the processes are being run. You can see how, for example, the managers communicate with their staff, their employees. It's a really great time where to pick up those tips from the real companies whose work you, for example, admire, or the leaders whose work you admire. And we have had some questions from the students during now the times of crisis too, that I don't know if some company or any company is taking the interns, they are hassling with the labor situation. From our team, from the Work in Estonia team, we have really emphasized it to all the companies that now it's a global wide thing, that bringing in the interns is really very important thing for the companies too. So definitely don't hesitate to go and ask and write that, hey, I would like to come. I would even, again, it's a two-way street. So you can either become a very, very, very good employee for the company, or the next, you can just gain ideas for your own thing. So I think that I have quickly covered the topics as I wanted to, what I wanted to cover. And now we have some time for the questions. So if you have any, feel free to shoot now, even writing them or just asking.
Yep. Thank you, Anneli. Thank you, Krista, both of you, for very useful information, in my opinion. We do have a few questions as well that we'll get to in a moment. Just to cover once again, I added the networking organizations and the things to chat once again, because Anneli, I think yours just went to our organizers circle.
Sorry.
Lives 99 and Garage 48, confusing numbers. Those are those two really cool networking possibilities that you have. There's a great support system built in there. And Ragnar Saisten is one of those great startup guys in Estonia, legendary, whose post you can check out on Facebook that Anneli mentioned. And
I'm just adding to Kristina that one very good portal where to check, or the information what to check, is the startup database on the homepage of Startup Estonia. If you really want to know that which are those startup companies that are currently doing well, then check the startup database. You can really see the overview. Startup Estonia team is adding, all the companies themselves keep it really up to date. So go and check this database too. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. So we do have time for the questions. So first question's rather simple one. So the question is, can I use my home address as legal address for my company? Okay, Krista, I think your mic was muted.
Yes, you can use it and you can change it. If you are changing your home address, you can change it in this company registration portal also. Digitally, you can change it.
Yeah, but keeping your company at your home, it's not an issue at all. Very many companies are doing it currently, that they are registering their home addresses as a company addresses.
Yep. Okay, so the next question is from a student currently in Estonia with a temporary residence permit. So the question is, can they start their business right now with the TRP that they have?
This is the question now to ask from the Police and Border Guard Board, just to be sure, because there can always be some details regarding that. For example, me and Krista maybe cannot cover in here because we cannot see your direct information. So my personal advice is just to contact with the Police and Border Guard Board in that matter, just to be sure that everything is well.
Mhm. And I guess there's also the issue that even if you're able to start a company with your current TRP, once you're not a student anymore, you will need to have a different basis for you remaining in Estonia. So
Yes,
just you having a company might not be enough. So that is why it's good to check with the Police and Border Guard what your options are in that case.
Absolutely. So like Kristina just described, so never forget or just keep in mind that you all the time have to have, so to speak, the legal basis of your stay, and it shouldn't be, you know, stopped for some period, because otherwise it may cause you some issues. But again, Police and Border Guard Board Migration Advisors team is the real experts group whom to talk with.
Yeah, of course. So the next question is from changing your organization. If you start with a nonprofit, then you want to change it to a profit association. Can you change it, or do you need to establish a completely new company then? That's the question.
You shall establish the new one. You can own the both non-profit organization and establish your own company. But if you would like to establish the new one, you shall decide, are you left your company, you shall close it, you shall declare all taxes, and you can close it and to start again with the new one.
But Krista, I'm just expanding the question a bit, that, for example, if I want to keep the both companies, so one of them is non-profit and the second one is profitable, and if I keep them both, can they have the same, so to speak, area? So won't it cause me any type of mess, for example, if I decide to keep both of the companies, but they have the same area?
You can keep both, but the mess can be about different entrepreneurial costs, and you shall count the costs for bookkeeping, for reporting.
So actually the advice in that case would be that decide which you like the best, that which is the most suitable for doing the business and keep it just very simple.
Now, sometimes some things like sporting clubs, they have one non-profit organization who is applying support for arranging different trainings, seminars, traveling, and the profit part is only for real estate. Managing the real estate is this profit part for sporting clubs. Some activities, yes, you can have the both ones.
That's a really good example what you gave. I think that it really explains that if you have them both, that what can be these possibilities with keeping the both companies, and what can be the areas.
Okay, great. So the next question is, I think, something we covered, but it's a question about whether it's possible for a spouse of a student that is currently studying in a university in Estonia to establish a company. And I think the answer is pretty much the same, is that you would need to double check with Police and Border Guard, because once again, the spouse's sort of reason for being in Estonia is that their spouse is studying, and once that basis is no longer there, then it might be an issue. What is your basis for staying in Estonia? So I guess it would be good to once again ask this question directly from the Police and Border Guard, right?
I would in that case, because there might be some details, just to be sure. That's why we are recommending it. But overall, just follow the dreams. If you have any business idea, then then shoot.
Yes. Okay, so the next question. What are the requirements to bring a foreign employee to work for me in Estonia? So that's a question right up your alley, Anneli.
At first, like I keep saying like a parrot. So keep communicating with the Police and Border Guard Board. Again, the details, but just not to give you only this answer. That on the homepage of Police and Border Guard Board, politsei.ee, Kristina can write it to the chat over there. Otherwise, I will again put it only to participants. And there you can find exactly a detailed and well-described list, which are the conditions. But what to keep in mind, that it's easier if you have the employee coming from EU country, because it's a Schengen area, it's easier to travel. You don't have a hassle with the documents. But if your new employee comes from the non-EU country, then you have to be sure that, as you might know, we have this quota system in Estonia, and that you have to be sure that this a non-EU citizen or your new employee who's coming is either out of the quota. For example, if you talk about the ICT field, ICT specialists are out of the quota system, so they have easier terms or conditions to work and to come to work in Estonia. But overall, discuss the topic with the Police and Border Guard Board. It really depends on the field, depends on the salary, and in some cases you have to also talk with the Estonian Unemployment Insurance Fund. So it's a quite it's not a way full of obstacles, but there are just some things just to keep in mind and check. But again, I would advise starting from the Police and Border Guard Board homepage. Everything is covered there, just a detailed, so to speak, the roadmap. And currently, as the borders are closed, so it's harder, but hopefully the borders will be open very, very soon. So we have had already very nice news from the Baltic states, for example, that starting from 15th of May, all 3 Baltic states, it's the current information that we have on the 7th of May, that starting from the 15th of May, the Baltic states borders will be opened again more freely for people to travel and visit other countries.
And I put the link to the Police and Border Guard website also in the chat, so you can have a quick look at the information that's available there. We have some time for a few more questions to cover. So the question, next one is that I have an OÜ company and I am an EU citizen with a temporary right of residence. But if I move away, do I have to apply for e-residency to keep my OÜ running and using the e-services?
That's right. That's the good solution. Yes.
Yeah, simple answer. And luckily for you, we do have a next webinar coming up about e-residency, so we'll talk more about it then. Let's see, we had a few more things here. So there is a question about the VAT system, the VAT tax. So could you please explain how the VAT system works? Do you get a VAT number as a sole proprietor and OÜ? So if I understand, when I order material from another company, I do not need to pay VAT, right? But when I sell to customers, I need to put 20% on top of the sales price. So
yes, it depends. Are you registered as value-added taxpayer or not? If you are choosing, you can yourself voluntarily also from the first day from the registering, register your company as value-added taxpayer. Then you have a right to put your invoices to add this 20% value-added tax and receive from government back this value-added tax that you have paid. It depends who are your clients. Are they companies or private persons? For example, for hairdresser, if you are serving private clients, then this service will be expensive, this 20% about this value-added tax, because private persons, they don't receive the value-added tax back. But if you are serving companies who are already value-added taxpayer, then these companies receive value-added tax back from the government. Summa summarum, received this tax government, and the people prefer to wait so long as they can this annual turnover is 40,000 euros. That's a tricky way about this value-added tax. But for a start, if you are planning to invest money purchasing machinery and equipment, and for your finances, is very important to receive back this value-added tax. Then we suggest to register your company as value-added taxpayer from the first day And if you are purchasing machinery for the first, second, third month, you can receive from government value-added tax back. And if you are producing, adding to your invoices this value-added tax, this tax already you will pay to the government. So,
okay, hopefully that gave an answer to the question. I'll smoothly use this opportunity to take one more question because it's 11 a.m. now, so our time for the webinar is running out. So the last question very nicely wraps this up. Krista talked about the consulting that the Enterprise Department of Tallinn offers for free. So I wanted to ask how to contact them for consulting.
yes, you can see my mail address, krista.kink@tallinnlv.ee, or our colleagues, we have one team about 5 members. You can contact by mail, by phone, and I hope we can offer the consultation by our office too also right away.
And I will just add to Krista that Krista's team is also present at the International House.
Right.
So they are rotating there too. So if you are checking also the International House or the workinestonia.com, the International House's page, then you can also book the consultation, business counseling there. And then you know that behind the business counseling over there is also Krista's team. So, and currently most of the consultations overall in Estonia, as you might have noticed, are online. Step by step are also people moving back to their offices and starting those one-on-one consultations. But just the main message here would be that don't hesitate to contact, write, give a call, and never stay alone with the question you have.
Yep, awesome. So I put a few links in the chat as well for the Tallinn Enterprise Department and for the International House of Estonia. So you can find already useful information there. And like Anneli said and Krista said, don't hesitate to reach out. The questions that we weren't able to cover right now during this chat, we will have a look at them in writing. And we will send out a summary of what was asked and what we answered to all the participants. So you can expect this email hopefully today, by the latest tomorrow. So it will come along with the recording of this webinar. So you can have a look if there's some information you missed or you want to listen to it again. And I'll wrap this up now with the announcement of our next webinar. Let me quickly see if I can show you my slides while I'm doing that. So our next webinar is scheduled for the 28th of May. It's once again a Thursday, it's once again a morning time, so 10 a.m. Estonian time. And like I mentioned, we will be talking about e-residency. So if you are an international student in Estonia, if your studies are soon coming to an end and you are planning to go back to your home country or maybe move on to another country, why not? But you still want to stay connected to Estonia. Let's see, you should be able to see maybe my slide now as well. Then we have a webinar for you simply for this purpose. So we have the e-residency team telling you about what e-residency is, how it can support you in your sort of connection with Estonia. So what it is that you can use it for. It is very useful, especially if you're looking to manage a business in Estonia or in the EU. And there's a whole community behind it that's a very valuable networking source and support system. So we hope you will be joining us for that webinar as well. We will send the link to this registration also with the information that you will receive soon. So we really hope to see you again at the end of May. Thank you so much to Anneli and Krista for doing this presentation today. And if you have anything else to add, then you can now take that moment as well.
I just want to say at first about the e-residency that e-residency team is also part of our team at the Enterprise Estonia, and it's a really awesome team. So definitely, if you have a chance to come and to listen, even if you don't maybe need the information currently yourself, but if you know that there might be some friends, colleagues, relatives whom this information can be useful for, so definitely come and listen. This team is doing awesome work. And overall, stay healthy, stay safe, go outside. At least in Tallinn, we have a really great weather, and go and discover the trails, the natural trails, and just keep the distance, like we have been doing in past months.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Krista and Anneli, and thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you at the next webinar then. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.